President Biden says the threat of Russia invading Ukraine remains very high. So why aren't we seeing a spike in oil prices? Oil's down 2.5% today. For the answer, we have to turn to Iran. Pippa Stevens has more. Pippa?
Hey, Kelly, the oil market is caught in a tug of war. On one hand, we've got the Russia and Ukraine tensions supporting prices. On the other hand, we've got progress in the Iran nuclear talks, which could lead to more supply in the market. And today, it is all about Iran. The nation's chief nuclear negotiator saying yesterday in a tweet that, quote, we are closer than ever to an agreement, although he did add that nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. A deal could bring more than 1 million barrels per day back to the market and help alleviate pressures we've seen as demand bounces back. There's no agreement yet, but Amrita Sen from Energy Aspects saying the market is now pricing in an imminent deal. It's also important to put today's move in context, since oil is still up about 20% for the year and holding above 90. Remember, it was less than 2 years ago that crude plunged into negative territory, and now we're above 90. Stephen Brennock from brokerage PVM saying the next few days are make or break for oil. An inflection point is drawing near that could see prices move $15 in either direction on these geopolitical factors. Kelly?
$15 in either direction on geopolitics. And yet, what does the underlying supply and demand balance tell us?
Well, exactly. There's a lot of questions about that as demand bounces back and supply remains really tight. And again, geopolitical events are very important for this market, but traders say they wouldn't have had quite this type of an impact had it not been for the underlying market, which is so tight. You know, last month, OPEC missed its output goal by 900,000 barrels per day. So they're struggling to bring output back. U.S. shale is staying under taps. We heard from the Devon CEO this morning, who told Squawk on the Street that they don't really have plans to increase their output. So supply remains constrained. Demand is bouncing back. And that is why people are calling for that $100 oil level.
How significant, Pippa, would the return of Iranian barrels be to a market where some say they're already in the market, they're just not officially so?
Well, if they came back, you know, this is more than 1 million new barrels per day on the market. And so while some of that might have been priced in, it hasn't actually hit the market yet. And in a market where it is trading on the different geopolitical events that we're getting, any kind of clarity around that is really important. You know, the oil market really responds to these types of events, and people don't like unknowns. So once we know, solidify what's going to happen, that can lead to some, you know, shaking out of these volatile moves that we've seen over the past few days and weeks and months, really.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.